Love wants you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. We don't talk about it.
Hey guys, what's cracking? It is Cracking Nation, coach of the Boston Bisharps, and we are coming at you with another post-com. I was actually in school. I was not in class, but like sitting in the dining hall and stuff when I was playing this game. Ended up taking like 90 minutes to actually play this game out because it was a freaking crazy match. So it took us forever to play this match, so it's a really good thing I didn't try to live comment. So it's this is gonna be a post.com, and I actually kind of like the post-com in games where I feel like there are moments where I could have played better. And I think I actually played this game really well. There was one or two plays towards the end of the game, and you'll see like there's a crazy situation, not totally my fault, but maybe I could have eked out a little bit better of a play. So it was an absolutely crazy game. My opponent is hi, my name is Bobbert, coach of the Cleveland Escavaliers. His draft actually kind of gives me some PTSD because his first two are Mega Manectric and Lando, which is the team I lost to in finals in season 9, basically. But then he's got a lot of other cool stuff. He actually ended up not bringing a lot of threats. But my team is looking like it's... So he ends up bringing Manectric, Sneasel, Landorus, Therian, Comfy, Jellicent, and Fairthorn, and I bring McGearn, Chandelure, Avalugg, Garchomp, Goodra, and Azelf. So I'm actually running some pretty cool sets. Garchomp is actually a Tank Chomp set with a Yachi Berry. Basically, that lets it take on a hit from Sneasel and kill with Earthquake, or it lets it take a Hidden Power Ice from either Manectric or I guess if Landorus wants to run that. It's also actually kind of like a specially offensive Garchomp. It's got Earthquake. It's like a mixed Garchomp, I should say. It's my rocker, but it's actually a really good lead in all matchups because it has Hidden Power Ice and Fire Blast. So it actually like just wins a lot of one-on-one matchups. Obviously not against Jellicent, and maybe Comfy to an extent, but actually beats everything else in this team one-on-one in the lead matchup. I guess not Sash Azelf. But I've also got a Scarf Chandelure, Shift Gear Magearna with, I think it's a Farium Z, just regular leftovers defensive Avalugg, takes on things like Sneasel and Scolipede if he had brought it, and then also Landorus so well. And then actually I ended up, which is really weird, I went back and forth, but a physically offensive Azelf ended up coming. I could have easily been special or like and run the mix set. I really wanted to run knockoff. It was really big against a lot of these Pokemon on this team. Specifically, like if he brought Assault Vest or Reuniclus, would have had a great match against my team. So I brought this Azelf set specifically to beat Assault Vest Reuniclus, which, assuming it's Regenerator, dies to a knockoff from Azelf, Life Orb, physically offensive Azelf, after Rocks damage. But I ended up... It is weird. The reason I say it's weird that I brought this Azelf set is because he's got 2 Intimidators. But I realized very quickly that like I need a way to hit physical offense because things like Fairthorn and Jellicent are probably going to be specially offensive. So I just really need to be physically offensive to be able to beat them comfortably. And also like Comfy, if it sets up, is going to be like that. So I am running Ice Punch to beat Landorus, which actually still does a crap ton of Landorus even after the drop. What's weird about Azelf is that it could have run almost all of its coverage on the special side and then almost the exact same set. So that's why I was debating it so close. I could literally just be either set and just do all the same things. I ended up siding on the physical just because it beat Jellicent a little more reliably and clearly beat Reuniclus a little more reliably. So I decided that the Garchomp is a really good lead. It beats most of this team one-on-one and actually gets up Rocks. If he leads Manectric, or Landorus, which are his 2 most likely leads, I actually just beat them both, or get up Rocks on both of them, I should say. So I'm just going to play the battle. I was wrong. I thought Garchomp would be the lead. I actually, so he leads Manectric, and I click Fire Blast here. Right. So Chandelure actually, Garchomp gets up Rocks, and I actually go into it really early. That's totally my bad. But, what was I going to say? Chandelure actually beats his whole team. Scarf Chandelure beats his whole team, does immense damage. If he led with Landorus, I probably would have stayed in and clicked Fire Blast anyways and just been real as fuck. But Chandelure actually just puts in so much work, and the fact that he led with this and this can't KO me means I'm going to get off a Fire Blast. This was a pretty low roll, even assuming he has some HP. This is a fairly low roll, which is annoying because I really was hoping he would get under 12%, so once I set up my Rocks, it wouldn't be able to switch back in. Regardless, it doesn't end up mattering the outcome, but that was something I was bummed out at the time. So right here, he actually switches into Jellicent, which is a really good switch, but I actually kind of saw that coming, because I was like, he's not going to leave this thing in. And I end up switching out to Garchomp. So I switch out to Garchomp. He Toxics me, which is super nice. I was kind of expecting the Scald or the Shadow Ball, either of which Garchomp isn't super upset about. It only mostly fears the Earthquake. Oh, sorry, the Will-O-Wisp. Skull, obviously, if it burns, is unfortunate, but I have 2 special moves to hit a lot of this team, so it's like, I'm not that upset. He goes out into the Landorus Therian, who I actually click Rocks on, because I knew, like, Rocks are super important. Landorus is either his Defogger or Comfy is either his Defogger. It ends up being that neither is his Defogger, and that's kind of something I took note of in the while I was team building, is that Blaziken, Comfy, and Landorus Therian are all mons that don't like running Defog. Only defensive Landorus likes to run Defog, and if he brings defensive Landorus, I'm actually gonna fucking shit on his team. I'm gonna shit on it so bad. And if he brings Defog Comfy, like, he's not running Calm Mind Comfy, and then it's actually just terrible against me. And if he brings Defog Blaziken, like, Blaziken is a terrible Defogger. He's going to die. So I was like, Rocks are going to be key in this matchup. I wish I had Spikes or Toxic Spikes or somehow just Sticky Webs, some way to punish the lack of good hazard clearing. But I think if I had that, he would have definitely been more inclined to bring a defogging set. So it is what it is, but Rocks are very important in this matchup, which is why I click on them on Jellicent. Right here, I actually end up clicking the Hidden Power Ice and revealing it on Ferrothorn, which is down to 0 damage, and I'm kind of sad about that because I was really hoping to catch that Landorus, but he ends up pulling the weird double. Was pretty good on his part. I actually switched into Azelf on a Gyro Ball, which is a really good play by him, and I was pretty impressed by that. I was expecting him to click his own rock, so I really wanted to get Azelf in, but I was definitely very impressed by that. So I actually end up seeing very quickly, like, I have Fire Punch on Azelf, and it's like I didn't see the leftovers. That's why the rocks are so key, because I didn't see the leftovers on Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn's not running leftovers. It's either Rocky Helmet or Akka. If it's in either case, I really want to knock that item off. In either case, I'm gonna die. Like, if I click Fire Punch, I'm gonna die because of Life Orb Recoil. If I click Knock Off, basically either way, I'm gonna die no matter what I hit against this Ferrothorn. And I really don't fear Ferrothorn because I have fire coverage on literally 5 Pokemon on this, or fire coverage on 4 Pokemon on this team, fighting coverage on Magearna. So like 5 out of the 6 Pokemon on this team love to beat Ferrothorn. So I was just being very cautious about that. So I thought Knockoff was the play. Also because if he did decide to switch something into Knockoff is always going to be really nice. If it like against a Violet Sneasel or like leftovers on something, I don't know. Knockoff is really nice, but he ends up going to Pringles, the Jellicent, and I end up catching him with a nasty switch. The crit does not matter because it turns out he is a special set, especially defensive set. So that was pretty nice. I ended up switching out with right here on the Draining Kiss. I didn't want Azelf to die. I thought Azelf still had a lot of potential. It speed ties Sneasel. That's not running Ice Shard. It actually still Fire Punches. The fact that I still have 2 hits off I was at 11%. The fact that I still have 2 Life Orb attacks is actually really nice. If Landorus ends up being like a Z set, I still beat that. I still beat Ferrothorn. Like I beat speed tying Sneasel. It saves as fodder for Manectric. So clicking Volt Switch. So like. I really wanted to save it, and I knew he was going to be clicking Draining Kiss, so I actually had a free switch on Chandelure and a free Fire Blast this turn. This all over again, which I do fortunately land, although it wouldn't have mattered a ton if I missed, because I could have just gotten a chance to land it the next turn. So he actually ends up going into Lando Calrissian, and this is the easiest Avalugg switch of my life, because Avalugg actually never fears what this thing has to go for. He clicks Groundium Z, which is a good move, but it actually is, that's a Adamant Landorus, I'm pretty sure, clicking Z Earthquake, and it does 41% to my Avalugg. Like, Avalugg is awesome. So I actually end up just rapid spinning that turn. I think he just goes for his rocks again, and I Avalanche, just let this thing absolutely get murked. So right here, I'm actually in a really good spot. Ferrothorn comes in, and I just prioritize getting my rapid spin up so that Chandelure has 2 switches. He actually clicks Spikes Leech Seed here, and then Spikes next turn. He clicks a really weird series of moves here, which actually ends up putting me in a weird spot later in the match for various reasons, but he clicks the Spikes. I don't like all of this, so I click Rapid Spin. He clicks T-Wave on this turn, which ends up being pretty big, or could have been pretty big, but I take this turn to switch out in my Goodra, and he clicks the Gyro Ball, which does an absurd amount of damage. Like, I am genuinely shocked at how much that does. I actually am uninvested out of some HP into speed, because I wanted to be able to outspeed a defensive Landorus, because I am running Ice Beam. Anyways, I am shocked, but I click the Fire Blast. He ends up being Akka, and it does a ton of... But he actually clicks Thunder Wave here, which was the weirdest play, I thought. I understand he was maybe expecting a switch, But it was really weird because it actually reduces the amount of time. I still outspeed, and it reduces the amount of gyro. So the gyro ball no longer kills me because my speed's lowered. Really weird play, but I actually end up killing him. He goes into comfy, and this thing is a menace. I go straight into Magir Nut because this thing's going to start calm minding up on me. And actually, the next few turns are kind of crazy because I click Flash Cannon right here, and I do a pretty good chunk of damage. But the play might have actually been to Flash Cannon again. No, probably not. I don't know. This is a play where I'm like, damn, I'm in a really bad spot because that did no damage. If this comfy gets out of hand, I'm going to lose. But I realized quickly that I could have gone into this a turn earlier. Would have been slightly better, but I quickly realized I have Trick on Chandelure, so I go into this. This thing's going to get out of hand and beat my team really soon. He clicks Calm Mind, and then he gets the crit. It feels fucking terrible. At this point, I'm screaming in the dining hall. Like, it's not good. So, that was really bad. Yeah, so, at this point, I figured he's got Hidden Power Fire, so I'm going to hit Magir Nut, but I just got to go into Magir Nut. This was probably a turn I should have thought out more. It turns out he didn't have Hidden Power Fire, and I should have realized that because if he was running a Hidden Power Fire, he actually auto-lost to Chandelure, basically. So I should have realized it was a Hidden Power Ground, and Avalugg actually takes one. So I end up weakening my Magir Nut to absurdly low levels, just to do no damage to this thing. And then I quickly realize right here when I switch out, because I'm like, oh, maybe it's not. And I end up switching out to realize, because I'm like, at this point, I think I'm confident that I lost the game when I thought it was Hidden Power Fire. I'm like, this game's over. I go into this and he clicks Hidden Power, and I'm like, whoa, I'm immune. And I'm shocked. So it was a really weird situation where I quickly realized, like, crap, I should not have gone Magir Nut, and Azelf proved that to me. So now I know, and I just sack off my Azelf because I'm like, okay, Azelf's got to go. Maybe this wasn't the best idea because it turned out Sneasel wasn't running Ice Shard. It would have been better to have sacked off Goodra 100% of the time. So I actually end up going to Avalugg, and this right here, I need to never get paired to have any chance to win this game, because I actually end up getting off the Roar. I end up getting him out, and that's huge, but now I'm against the Sneasel that might have low kick and actually has SD. So, turns out he's got Throat Chop, which was crazy. Mad props. He ran it to hit my Slowbro harder, which is a good play because it hits at 15 base power harder, but it ends up blocking my Roar, which I had clicked right there. And I don't think he ran it that intentionally for that set, but that was really cool. And at this point, I was like, damn, like, that was sick. Like, the hacks even, like, that was sick. I felt a little better just because that was so cool. But I clicked the Avalanche. At this point, the turn I get paired is the turn I lose. So I click the Avalanche. He actually clicks Throat Chop again, and that means I do a ton of damage whenever he's attacking here, which I thought was very odd. But I actually just do a ton of damage with Avalanche here, which doesn't matter. Actually, what's really nice is I realized actually a few turns ago he's not Life Orb. The Avalanche damage tells me he's not a Violate, and I was like, man, what is this Sneasel? It's like, you would never run a berry on Sneasel. The thing is too frail to run a berry that, like, lowers super effective damage. So I started looking, and I actually, if you look in the chat, at the time of the game, I did learn Sneasel Natural Gift. Because I'm like, the only way this Sneasel is going to beat me at this point quickly enough is with Natural Gift. And I was pissed terrified of that. But I was so glad that I actually managed to trigger the Apricot Berry, because it turns out, like, that was Fire Natural Gift. So I was really, really excited about that. And so yeah, he ends up having SD, Throat Chop, Avalanche, or Icicle Crash or whatever, and then Natural Gift. The fact that I get this Avalanche off here is fucking huge. He brings in the fact that I haven't gotten paired to this point is awesome. So at this point, I'm like, fuck, I've got to go into Magir Nut so fucking fast. He's already setting up Calm Minds. He makes an interesting play, and, like, I think the play for him should have been to Hidden Power Ground on this turn. because I don't 2-hit KO comfy right now at this range of HP with this amount of investment. So I think he actually made a misplay here. He should have just hidden power ground. He 2-hit KOs me. I 2-hit KO him. He's out. He's faster. He wins. But he clicks Calm Mind again, and I end his life with my crit of my own, bringing the world of justice back to justice is now even again. People would say, "Oh, you got lucky and Avalugg didn't get paired," but I just would want to say like that doesn't matter, because the only reason I had needed to get that lucky was because he got really lucky with a crit on Chandelure at exactly the right time. So, what does this leave me? It leaves me basically with a 2-1 record, 7 differential, a 4-0 win. I think Magearna ends up getting a crit, and again at this point I'm screaming in the dining hall. I'm so amped, and I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, like I only needed to get hacks there to win because he got hacks to win. This game actually was very close to being a 6-0, but I'm very happy that it ended up being a 4-0. Still ended up being a big win in the conference. So I'm very glad that this happened. Like I ended up still winning this game. I'm still kind of in disbelief. I think I played really, really well in the beginning of the game. As you can see, like between like the knockoff play, getting up my rocks at the right time, like there were just some key plays, like the Fire Blast, the Chandelure lead just put immense pressure on him turn 1. I think I actually played really, really well, like almost perfectly in the early game, and I only ended up making 1 or 2 kind of poor plays around hidden power ground with Magearna later in the game, because. Sorry. Because I was afraid of hidden power fire and I was kind of losing my shit. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. It is always very appreciated. Until next time, I will see you guys later. We are 2-1. Kraken Nation out.